Hey folks, can you help me out? I seem to be stuck in a guild lobby pixel prison. So if you haven't been following closely the last year or so, the amount of rough spots with new releases and things that require developer work has really started to accelerate in Everquest. I don't really think the current devs are bad, but they're just not being put in a position to be able to succeed. And I'm going to explain what I think needs to change in this video. Right, so first, just a very short recap of some of the problems of the last year. We have to begin this, of course, with Oakwind's introduction of encounter locking. I mean, it sort of works if you squint really hard, doesn't it? After about 3 or 4 months, they made a change that brought back the dreaded immortal mobs. This is where mobs are attacking you, but grayed out to you so you have no way of defending yourself. I showed this in a lot of detail during the 1-week test patch time, but it got pushed to production anyway, and that led to a lot of griefing in the deep once it was fully understood how to manipulate the bug. Anyway, there's a lot of content on my channel talking about encounter locking, so I'm not going to dwell on it here, but you know it's not going great when one of the senior devs makes the, in my opinion at least, a very good call to just scrap it for a lot of the open world raid content rather than try to fix it. Here's another more recent example from the last patch where filters were added to chat channels. Okay, that's actually a really good idea. So here I am on my little 3-box setup and we're going to do some EXPing. OMG, not again. Every time I log in again, I have to go and turn off other hits other. There's a few of these that need to be turned off, in fact, every single time I log in. Well, that came up in the forums, and the dev response we got was, you weren't supposed to turn those off. I'm pretty sure other damage other isn't a new one, but let's give him the benefit of the doubt. You think it's a good idea for the customers to all have to turn that off every time they log in or hide it, and then have to generate huge log files? You saw how spammy that was with just my group. Now imagine a raid. The last example for this video is the DirectX 11 upgrade. Okay. We know they apparently had to do this upgrade, but Test had been saying for a long time it wasn't ready. Well, wouldn't you know it, when they went live with it, the complaints about lag and other problems were legion. The thing that helped a few players came not from Daybreak, but a player themselves. This post seemed to help a lot of folks with lag, so if you're still having problems with that, I'd encourage you to go try the things he says there. Well, I also noticed this picture on Discord. Not sure what's going on there, but then it happened to me after raids the other day. I mean, this is honestly so sad it's funny. I'm supposed to be in the guild lobby here, but it's not working as intended or something. Okay, so what's the issue here? There's a long-standing meme that things get fixed for the next TLP, and it's not without merit. If you look at their TLPs, a new expansion is generally getting released every 8 to 12 weeks, but their patches are monthly. So once you start thinking about how it all fits into a dev cycle, you quickly see why they can't fix anything in time for it to be relevant for the current TLP's expansion. After launch, you're probably taking a week to discover it and see that it's actually a problem that needs to be fixed. Then you have to fit it into prioritization cycle, then you're fixing it, QAing it, getting it into the test patch, then waiting for the actual patch. You're really lucky here if you can get a patch in before the expansion just moves on. And regardless of whether the era moves on to the next expansion, people will leave over that. Remember corruption cures on Vanicky? Or legacy AAs on Oakwind? Yeah, people have other options and aren't going to deal with a mess like that forever. I don't believe the devs are even that bad. The interactions I've had with them are almost always positive ones. The turnaround that was done right before Oakwind launched in the encounter locking system that they first put in test to what was eventually in production was actually amazingly impressive. They're just not put into a structure where they can succeed very well, and that's really a management issue more than anything. So I have 2 basic suggestions, at least for new TLPs. First, don't do new rule sets. You've basically shown you don't have the resources to support them, and That kind of makes sense given how many different versions of the game are currently being supported versus how small your dev team is. Second, you need to devote time to adequately QAing stuff before you release it. I'm sure you've seen internally how the population drops off when stuff is just blatantly broken. A little QA goes a long way. It's much better not to release a new feature than to release it pretty much broken. All right, that's all for now. Good luck out there, everyone.